Halloween 2024. A rapidly developing severe weather threat. Something that has never been seen across central Indiana before. The worst outbreak is coming. Premiering Halloween 2024. What you are about to witness is the biggest project I have ever had to make. The weather scenario you are about to watch contains the creepiest of Mother Nature's wrath. Devastating, unseen tornadoes. Destructive hurricane force winds. Hail so large you won't know what hit your house. It's all coming on Halloween. Get ready, because you are about to witness the event of a lifetime. Something we never thought in the meteorology community was possible. But Mother Nature decides to spoil the trick-or-treating fun with record-setting outbreaks. Sit back, relax, grab a snack, and enjoy the show. And happy Halloween.
The current time is 9 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is No All Hazards Radio KEC 74 in Indianapolis. Now here is the hazardous weather outlook for central Indiana. For today and tonight, a significant severe weather outbreak with multiple rounds of significant severe thunderstorms is likely today. Round 1 will consist of mostly isolated to scattered supercell from late morning through late afternoon. Any supercell that can develop will likely explosively intensify and become severe, with large hail of up to DVD size, damaging to locally destructive winds and numerous tornadoes, including the likelihood of strong to violent, possibly even extremely violent and long-lasting tornadoes. The best timing for severe weather with this first round will be from 11 a.m. through 4 p.m. The highest risk for supercells is along a Lafayette to Columbus line, including the Indianapolis metropolitan area. A line of life-threatening severe thunderstorms is expected late this evening into tonight. This line will produce extreme damaging winds exceeding 80, 90 miles per hour and multiple strong tornadoes. This line will likely impact area-wide. The timing of this line is likely from 6 p.m. through 11 p.m., with the line likely reaching the Indianapolis metro by 8 o'clock p.m. Severe weather is likely to clear central Indiana by 1 a.m. Friday. Any Halloween plans should be held off as significant severe weather is likely. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday. A few rounds of thunderstorms are possible Sunday through Tuesday. It is too soon to tell if storms will be severe. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation will be needed throughout today and tonight. Here is the Day 1 severe weather outlook. The Storm Prediction Center has issued a high risk for extremely catastrophic severe weather for central, eastern and south central Indiana, including Lafayette, Indianapolis, Bloomington, Columbus, Muncie and extending into southern Indiana including Terre Haute, Evansville and New Albany. Primary threats include a maxed out 60% extreme tornado threat, a 100% chance of damaging to destructive hurricane force winds, and a 45% significant hail threat. Elsewhere, a moderate risk extends from north central Indiana into southern and central Michigan, including Detroit and Grand Rapids. Primary threats include a 10% significant tornado threat, a 45% damaging wind threat, and a 30% threat for large hail. Another moderate risk is in place for the areas west of the high risk, extending out to the Champaign, Illinois area. Areas further west are under a slight to marginal risk. Threats in the second moderate include, are the same as in the first moderate. An enhanced risk slides south to include Louisville, with a slight branching off that to include Bowling Green and Paducah, with a large marginal extending to include Nashville, Tennessee. Primary threats in the enhanced risk include a 5% tornado threat, a 30% damaging wind threat, and a 15% hatched hail threat. All slight risks mentioned have a 15% wind threat and a 15% hail threat, with a 2-5% chance of hail. Persons in any of the moderate or high-risk areas are encouraged to stay weather aware and should practice actions in case severe weather warnings become necessary. Severe weather watches and warnings are expected. Emergency services should prepare for significant damage and be ready for potential search, rescue and recovery efforts if tornadoes impact. Local notes: activation of the central Indiana sky warn repeaters will be needed for the entire area late this morning into this afternoon and again this evening. County spotter activation is also expected. The National Weather Service has issued Tornado Watch number 307, effective this Thursday morning and afternoon from 10:25 a.m. until 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This watch includes the following counties in Indiana: Bartholomew, Boone, Brown, Carroll, Clinton, Decatur, Delaware, Hamilton, Hancock, Hendricks, Henry, Howard, Jennings, Johnson, Madison, Marion, Monroe, Montgomery, Morgan, Owen, Putnam, Randolph, Rush, Shelby, Tippecanoe, and Tipton. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Primary threats include numerous tornadoes with several intense tornadoes expected, a few violent tornadoes likely with an extremely violent tornado or two possible. Numerous large hail and scattered very large hail events to 6 inches in diameter expected. Scattered damaging wind gusts with isolated significant gusts to 85 miles per hour likely. Summary: numerous supercells are expected across the watch area today with all modes of severe weather, including extremely violent tornadoes possible. This MDL round is expected to clear the watch area by 5 p.m. Remember, a tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including tornadoes, large hail and damaging winds, in and close to the watch area. Although severe weather may not be imminent, persons should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, commercial radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has activated the Central Indiana Skywarn Network for Tornado Watch 307. Thunderstorms capable of producing significant to extreme hail, hurricane-force winds and damaging tornadoes are expected this afternoon. The primary net frequency is 146.9700 MHz and 442.6500 MHz. AccuWarn, the National Weather Service in Indianapolis, has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Hendricks County in central Indiana, southern Boone County in central Indiana, extreme southwestern Hamilton County in central Indiana, extreme northeastern Putnam County in central Indiana, southeastern Montgomery County in central Indiana. Star until 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Star at 10:55 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. A rapidly developing severe thunderstorm was located near Cloverdale, or 6 miles south of Crawfordsville, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Expected hazards include 60 mph wind gusts and half-dollar-size hail. Source: radar indicated. Impact: hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding and trees. Locations impacted include Cloverdale, Danville, Winchester, Zion-Zioli and South Lebanon. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into a basement or small central room inside a sturdy structure. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. A tornado watch remains in effect until 5 p.m. for central Indiana. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for northern Hendricks County in central Indiana, southern Boone County in central Indiana. Star until 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 11:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Eminence, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Hazards include tornado and golf all-size hail. Spotters have reported a funnel cloud. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include Umno, Stylisville, Lebanon, Zionsville, and Whitestown. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If outdoors, in a mobile home, or a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. This thunderstorm is capable of producing a possibly strong to violent tornado given the environment ahead of it. Take cover now. Heavy rainfall may hide this tornado. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now. A tornado warning remains in effect until 11:30 a.m. for northeastern Hendricks and southeastern Boone counties. At 11:12 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near the Boone-Hendricks County line and moving towards Whitestown at 45 mph. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Expected hazards include a damaging tornado and baseball-size hail. Storm spotters have confirmed this tornado. At 11:08 a.m., spotters confirmed a large tornado touchdown in far southeastern Boone County, moving toward Whitestown. This tornado is gaining strength, and based on convective trends, a tornado emergency may be needed for western Hamilton County within the next 15-20 minutes. Residents in Carmel and Westfield should listen for a heavily T-worded tornado particularly dangerous situation tornado warning. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be desolated. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely and complete. Destruction is possible. Locations impacted include Whitestown in South Lebanon. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground and is gaining strength. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If in mobile home or a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Heavy rainfall may hide this tornado. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now. A large and potentially violent tornado is on the ground. Take immediate tornado precautions. This is an emergency situation. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for southern Howard County and central Indiana, central Tipton County, and central Indiana Star until 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 11:19 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a rapidly intensifying severe thunderstorm capable of producing a large and extremely dangerous tornado was rapidly developing. Located near Tipton, moving northeast at 20 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Expected hazards include an extremely dangerous possible tornado. This is a radar-indicated threat. Radar has indicated a rapidly intensifying thunderstorm with increasing rotation. This storm, despite being subsevere, is showing extremely strong rotation in a long track. Violent tornado may touch down at any time. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be decimated. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely and complete destruction is possible. The tornado will be near Tipton now. Sharpsville in Michigan Town around 11:35 a.m. Cocoa around 11:50 a.m. This extremely dangerous storm will otherwise remain over mainly rural areas of southern Howard and northern Tipton counties. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and potentially life-threatening tornado is developing and may touch down at any time. To protect your life, seek an underground shelter now. If an underground shelter is not available, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building and stay away from windows. This is an extremely dangerous storm with a violent tornado likely to develop. Seek shelter now. Extremely dangerous and violent tornado on the ground near Whitestown. Tornado emergency for Carmel, Whitestown, Westfield, and North Noblesville. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for eastern Boone County and central Indiana Western and central Hamilton County and central Indiana Star until 12 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 11:22 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located 1 mile west of Whitestown, moving north-northeast at 45 miles per hour. This is a tornado emergency for North Carmel, Westfield, Whitestown, and North Noblesville. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Seek an underground shelter now. Expected hazards include an extremely dangerous tornado. Storm spotters and emergency management have confirmed an extremely dangerous tornado on the ground over Whitestown. This tornado is responsible for significant damage in southern Boone County and has been cited by spotters. The following impacts are expected. This is a life-threatening situation. You may be killed if not underground or in a tornado shelter. Complete destruction of entire neighborhoods is likely. Many well-built homes and businesses will be completely swept from their foundations. Debris will block most roadways where the tornado impacts. Mass devastation is highly likely, making the areas impacted completely unrecognizable to survivors. The tornado will be near Whitestown, now Carmel, and Westfield around 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. North Noblesville and Strawtown around 11:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Other locations impacted by this extremely dangerous tornado include Cicero. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and violent tornado is on the ground heading for a populated area. To protect your life, seek an underground shelter now. Above-ground shelters will likely provide little protection from this tornado. Your best chance of survival is in a basement, storm shelter, or underground room. Heavy rainfall will likely obscure this extremely dangerous tornado. Do not wait to see the power flashes from this tornado or hear it. Take shelter now to ensure survival. Tornado emergency for South Central Howard and northern Tipton counties, including Sharpsville and Kakamo. A tornado warning remains in effect until 12 p.m. EDT for South Central Howard and northern Tipton counties. At 11:29 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large, violent, and extremely dangerous wedge tornado was located over Kempton, or north of Tipton, moving northeast at 20 mph. Tornado emergency for Sharpsville and Kakamo. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Seek an underground shelter now. Hazards include a deadly tornado. A tornado has been reported by spotters. Spotters report a tornado touched down at 11:25 a.m. and has tripled in size. This tornado is rapidly gaining strength and has already scoured foundations off the face of the earth north of Tipton at 11:28 a.m. Impact. This is an extremely dangerous and life or death situation. Seek an underground shelter now. You will likely be killed if you do not seek a secure shelter. Well-built homes and businesses will be either flatlined or completely swept away. Mass devastation is almost certain, making areas affected completely unrecognizable to survivors. Locations impacted include Kakamo, Windfall, Sharpsville, and Indian Heights. To repeat, an extremely large and extremely violent and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, seek an underground shelter immediately. Failure to do so may result in certain death. Large and potentially extremely violent tornado shifts course, aiming for northeast Noblesville. Tornado emergency for northern Noblesville. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. A tornado warning remains in effect until 12 p.m. for central Hamilton County. At 11:33 a.m. EDT, a confirmed large, violent, and deadly tornado was located near Noblesville, moving east at 40 mph. Tornado emergency for North Noblesville. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Take cover now. Hazards include a deadly tornado. Source radar, spotters, emergency management, and the public. At 11:31 a.m., catastrophic damage was reported near Whitestown, with well-built homes partially swept off their foundations. At 11:29 a.m., the creator of this warning spotted a tornado between his house and his school. He totally didn't shift the path to keep the tornado from hitting his house at 11:30 a.m. Numerous reports of a large, Wedge-shaped tornado. Around a mile wide in progress moving over the far northern sections of Route 37 in Noblesville. This tornado is showing no sign of lifting anytime soon as it continues to carve a path of destruction. The following impacts are expected. This is a life-threatening situation. You will likely be killed if you are not in a secure shelter. Mobile homes will be completely swept away without a trace. Even well-built homes may be destroyed, captivating residents in their shelters. Mass devastation is highly likely, making areas affected completely unrecognizable to survivors. This tornado will directly impact the northern half of the city of Noblesville. Seek an underground shelter now. Above-ground shelters will provide little to no protection against this tornado. Seek shelter in an underground room or basement and stay away from windows. Extremely large and extremely violent tornado racing for Kokomo. This is an extreme tornado emergency for Howard County, including Kokomo, Rougeaville, Indian Heights, and Greentown. This is a likely mass casualty situation. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for Howard County and central Indiana until 12:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, at 11:39 am Eastern Daylight Time. An extremely large and extremely violent tornado with a history of wiping away absolutely anything was located near Kempton, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. This is an extreme tornado emergency for Howard County, including Kokomo, Indian Heights, Greentown, and Rougeaville. This is a life or death situation. Seek an underground shelter immediately. Hazard: catastrophic tornado. Source: numerous. This tornado has swept away the entire cities of Sharpsville and Kempton without a trace. Nothing is left, not even slabs. At 11:38 a.m., this tornado was being tracked by spotters and estimated to be almost 3 miles wide. At 11:37 a.m., a mobile Doppler radar site near Kempton measured a wind gust of 298 miles per hour with this tornado before being decimated. The following impacts are expected. You will face certain death if you are not in a secure underground shelter. Mobile homes, and businesses will be swept away without a trace. Ground showering is highly likely in the path of the tornado. Cars and businesses will become projectiles. Mass devastation is certain in the path of the tornado, leaving areas affected completely unrecognizable to survivors. Locations impacted include Kokomo, Indian Heights, Rougeaville, and Greentown. To repeat, an extremely large and extremely violent tornado capable of destroying entire towns and cities is on the ground. To protect whatever chances of surviving you have, seek an underground shelter now. If no underground shelter is available, evacuate from the path of this tornado now. If the tornado is too close, do not evacuate. Instead, go the lowest, most interior room of the building and protect yourself by any means. Above-ground shelters will likely provide absolutely no protection from this unprecedented tornado. Do not delay. Seek an underground shelter now. Large, violent, and dangerous tornado moving across eastern Noblesville. Tornado emergency for eastern Hamilton, Madison, and western Delaware counties, including Anderson. This is a potential mass casualty situation. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for central Madison County and central Indiana, east central Hamilton County and central Indiana, northwestern Delaware County, and east central Indiana until 12:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 11:47 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and violent wedge tornado was located over northern Noblesville, moving east at 50 miles per hour. This tornado has a history of catastrophic damage from west of Whitestone to Noblesville. This is a life-threatening situation. Seek an underground shelter now. Hazards include a violent wedge tornado. Emergency management and weather spoofers have confirmed this violent tornado. At 11:46 a.m., the tornado was around 1 mile north of Noblesville High School, racing east as reported by spotters. In addition, a strengthening storm with possible rotation is moving into far southwestern Hamilton County. If this storm strengthens, a new tornado warning will be issued. At 11:45 a.m., emergency management caught sight of this tornado and indicates it is about 1 mile wide. Radar indicates a swath of winds near 195 miles per hour with this tornado. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life or death situation. You could be killed if not in a secure shelter. Mobile homes will be decimated. Extensive damage to homes and businesses is likely with complete destruction expected. Locations include Noblesville, Strawtown, Angels, Lapel, Alexandria, Edgewood and Anderson. To repeat, an extremely large, violent and life-threatening tornado has been sighted. Move to an underground shelter immediately. This tornado may be shrouded by debris and heavy rain. Do not wait to see the power flashes of the tornado or hear it. Get underground now. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for northern Marion County and central Indiana, southwestern Hamilton County and central Indiana until 12:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 11:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a large and extremely dangerous tornado was located over Monument Circle, moving northeast at 25 mph. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazards include a damaging tornado. This is a radar-indicated threat rotation. This storm is showing possible strengthening rotation and may drop a potentially violent tornado at any time. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses and vehicles is likely and complete destruction is possible. This tornado will pass just north of downtown Indianapolis and will impact the following locations: Carmel, Fishers, Jisk Reservoir and Castleton. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and potentially deadly tornado is developing. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If in a mobile home, a vehicle or outdoors, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. This storm is showing exceptionally strong rotation, and given the environment ahead of it as well as the history of tornadic development from other storms, this storm may generate a life-threatening tornado at any time. Take cover now. Large, extremely violent and unprecedented tornado bearing down on Kokomo. Extreme tornado emergency continues for the warned area including Kokomo, Indian Heights and Greentown. This is a mass casualty situation. A tornado warning remains in effect until 12:30 p.m. for central Howard County. At 11:59 a.m., an extremely large, extremely violent, and life-altering tornado was located 4 miles northeast of Rushville, moving northeast at 30 miles per hour. This is an extreme tornado emergency for central Howard County. This is a life or death situation. Seek an underground shelter now if you have not already done so. Hazards include an unprecedented tornado and bowling ball-size hail. Numerous sources have confirmed this tornado. At 11:56 a.m., the entire city of Rushville has been completely swept away. Absolutely nothing is left as reported by first responders. Despite the early warnings, numerous injuries and fatalities have been reported. Extreme pavement and ground scouring has been reported north of Tipton and again near the Howard-Tipton County line. Residents in Kokomo just seek an underground shelter if they wish to preserve their lives. At 11:57 a.m., radar measured this tornado to be 3.4 miles wide, with measured winds exceeding 320 miles per hour. The following impacts are expected. You will face certain death if not in a secure underground shelter. However, that is not even guaranteed. Entire towns will be leveled or swept away without a trace. Debris will block most if not all roadways. Debris may be thrown for miles outside of the damaged path. Mass devastation is certain, making areas affected unrecognizable to those who survived this unprecedented storm. This tornado is expected to core the city of Kokomo within the next 5 minutes. To repeat, a historic tornado capable of spreading absolutely everything is on the ground. To protect your life, seek an underground shelter now. If no underground shelter is available, get out of the path of this tornado now. If the tornado is too close, do not evacuate. Instead, go to the lowest most interior room and protect yourself by any means. Mobile homes, Homes and outbuildings will provide absolutely no protection from this catastrophic tornado. Take shelter now to ensure survival. Large, violent tornado moving into Madison County. Tornado emergency for Anderson. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Take immediate cover if you have not already done so. A tornado warning remains in effect until 12:30 p.m. for central Madison and western Delaware counties. At 12:01 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large, violent and deadly tornado was located over Leppel, moving east at 50 mph. Tornado has an extensive history of extreme damage from Whitestone and Boone County to northeast of Noblesville. Take cover immediately. Hazards include a life-threatening tornado. Multiple sources have confirmed this tornado. Hamilton County Emergency Management has reported catastrophik damage north of and on the northern side of Noblesville. The city of Strawtown suffered a direct hit from this tornado, and the town has been almost completely destroyed. This tornado continues to be over 1 mile wide, with winds of around 195 miles per hour measured at the surface. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. You will likely be killed if not in a secure shelter. Mobile homes and homes will both be destroyed. Complete destruction is likely to everything in the path. Locations impacted include Anderson, Leipel, Engels, Penalton, Edgewood and Alexandria. To repeat, an extremely large and violent tornado is on the ground. In addition, on its current track, this tornado may pass dangerously close to or directly impact the city of Muncie. Residents in Muncie should prepare for this deadly tornado and listen for an extensively worded tornado warning within the next 30 minutes. Locations impacted include Anderson, Yorktown, Edgewood and Country Club Heights. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and life-threatening tornado has been sighted. Take cover now. Above-ground shelters will provide little to no protection from this tornado. Take cover now. The tornado warning for southwestern Hamilton County is canceled. The storm that prompted the warning has moved further south and will not affect Hamilton County. Therefore, the warning has been canceled. Additional severe thunderstorms are possible this afternoon. A tornado watch remains in effect until 5 p.m. for central Indiana. A tornado warning remains in effect until 12:30 p.m. for central Marion County. At 12:11 p.m., a confirmed tornado was located over the western Indianapolis area, moving east-northeast at 35 mph. Expected hazards include a damaging tornado and 3-inch hail. A tornado has been confirmed by an off-duty National Weather Service employee and by storm spotters. Spotters have confirmed multiple tornado touchdowns in the western Indianapolis metro. At 12:09 p.m., a National Weather Service employee reported a tornado touching the ground near the northern Indianapolis International Airport terminal. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris may be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include Indianapolis. To repeat, a tornado is on the ground. Take cover now. Move to an interim room on the lowest floor of a building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Given the atmosphere this tornado is headed into, it has the potential to become violent. If this occurs, residents should prepare to either evacuate or seek an underground shelter when a warning is issued. And now a special weather statement for the following county: Morgan, Indiana. Rapidly strengthening storm with a likely tornado moving towards Morgan County. At 12:14 p.m., radar indicates a tornado in Owen County, tracking towards Bloomington and Morgantown at 35 mph. This storm is a likely candidate for a violent, long-track, devastating tornado, and residents should prepare to seek shelter. A tornado emergency will likely be issued within the next 10-15 minutes. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Morgan County and central Indiana, southern Hendricks County and central Indiana, southeastern Putnam County and central Indiana, until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 12:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located near Cloverdale, or 20 miles east of Terre Haute, moving east at 55 miles per hour. This is a destructive storm for Monrovia, Amos, Stylisville, and Danville. Hazards: 100 miles per hour winds and 3-inch hail. Source: trained weather spotters. Spotters have reported hail increasing from pea to baseball sized in under 5 seconds within the core of this storm. At 12:18 p.m., the roof of a storm spotter vehicle was detached and thrown into a barn by straight-line winds. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be heavily damaged or destroyed. Homes and businesses will suffer extensive roof and window damage. Widespread tree damage and power outages are likely. Locations impacted include Amos, Stylisville, Danville, and Monrovia. Remain alert for a possible strong tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into a basement or a small room inside a sturdy structure. For your protection, move into an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. This thunderstorm is capable of producing all types of severe weather, including extremely large hail, extensive straight-line winds, and tornadoes. Move quickly to an interior room such as a bathroom or closet. A tornado watch remains in effect until 5 p.m. for central Indiana. Large, violent, and deadly tornado east of Anderson, now racing towards Muncie. Tornado emergency for Muncie. This is a potential mass casualty situation. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for eastern Madison County in central Indiana, Delaware County in central Indiana, northern Henry County in central Indiana, Randolph County in east central Indiana until 1:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 12:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a long track, large, violent tornado was located 5 miles east of Anderson, moving east at 60 miles per hour. Tornado emergency for Muncie. This is a life-threatening situation. Take immediate cover. Hazards include an extremely dangerous and deadly tornado. Numerous sources have confirmed this tornado. This tornado has an extensive history of significant damage from Whitestown to Anderson. While this tornado appears to be slowly weakening, it is still extremely dangerous and residents must seek an underground shelter. Impact. This is a life-threatening situation. You may be killed if not underground or in a tornado shelter. Complete destruction of entire neighborhoods is likely. Many, if not all, well-built homes and businesses will be either flattened or swept away from their foundations. Mass devastation is almost certain, making areas affected completely unrecognizable to survivors. Locations impacted include Muncie, Yorktown, Park-City, Farmland, Albany, Edel, and Winchester. To repeat, a very large, violent, and deadly tornado is still on the ground, although weakening. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Large, violent, and deadly tornado intensifying at an unprecedented rate, racing towards northern Bloomington and Morgantown. This is an extreme tornado emergency for Bloomington, Morgantown, and areas in between. This is a mass casualty situation. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for northern Monroe County in south-central Indiana, south-central Morgan County in central Indiana, northwestern Brown County in central Indiana, eastern Owen County in south-central Indiana until 1:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 12:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large, extremely violent tornado was located in rural eastern Owen County, or near Spencer, moving east-northeast at 50 mph. This is an extreme tornado emergency for Bloomington, Morgantown, McCormick's Creek State Park in Spencer. This is an extremely dangerous and life or death situation. Seek an underground shelter now in order to protect your life. Expected hazards include an extremely violent tornado and hail of up to 2 inches in diameter. A tornado has been reported by emergency management and weather spotters. Spotters have confirmed a tornado touchdown at 12:20 p.m., and since then the tornado has undergone a stage of unprecedented intensification and has winds potentially exceeding 300 mph. Residents in Bloomington hearing this warning are in immediate danger and should take tornado precautions now in order to protect your life. The following impacts are expected: you will face certain death if not in a secure shelter. Noble homes, and businesses will be swept away without a trace. Debris will block most if not all roadways where the tornado impacts. Extensive ground scouring is likely. Mass devastation is certain, making areas affected completely unrecognizable to survivors. Locations impacted include Bloomington, Isletsville, Morgantown, Monrovia, and McCormick's Creek State Park. To repeat, an extremely large, extremely violent, and deadly tornado has been confirmed and has strengthened at a rate unseen before. To protect your life, seek shelter now. Above ground shelters will either completely fail or be destroyed on impact. Take shelter in an underground room, or if not available, evacuate out of the path of this tornado now. If the tornado is too close, do not evacuate. Instead, go to the lowest most enter a room and protect yourself by any means. The tornado warning for Howard County will expire at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The storm that prompted the warning has rapidly moved out of the area and the debris signature has significantly weakened, and the tornado is not expected to remain on the ground. However, a tornado watch remains in effect until 5 p.m. for central Indiana. The tornado warning for central Marion County has expired. The storm that prompted the warning is being impeded by another tornado-likely storm to itself, and as a result, the storm is dissipating. However, residents in the southern Indianapolis metro should be ready to take shelter as a potentially significant tornado may be developing and may track over the southern Indianapolis metro within the next hour. A tornado watch remains in effect until 5 p.m. for central Indiana. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for northern Morgan County and central Indiana until 1:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 12:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed possibly strong tornado was located near Monrovia, moving east at 10 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Seek shelter now. Expected hazards include a potentially strong tornado and tennis ball-sized hail. Tornadic debris has been confirmed by radar. Radar shows multiple couplets in close proximity. This is a dangerous tornado as a likely strong tornado is on the ground. In addition, an extremely violent tornado is on track for the southern half of the county and on the current path. These two tornadoes will likely collide near Morseville or near the Morgan-Johnson County line within the next 45 minutes. If this occurs, a once-in-a-lifetime tornado may develop. Residents in Shelby and Johnson counties should be ready to seek an underground shelter or quickly evacuate at a moment's notice. Be prepared to listen for especially unprecedentedly worded extreme tornado emergency within the next 45 minutes if this occurs. This tornado will mostly remain over mainly rural areas of northern Morgan County. To repeat, a tornado, possibly strong in nature, is on the ground and will likely fuse with an even stronger tornado. To protect your life and as a precaution, seek an underground shelter now. If these two tornadoes fuse, a once-in-a-lifetime situation is possible. A tornado warning remains in effect until 1:15 p.m. for eastern Delaware and central Randolph counties. At 12:42 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a tornado-producing storm was located over the Delaware-Randolph County line, moving towards Winchester at 40 mph. This tornado has an extensive history of extreme damage along a path from Whitestown to Selma. This tornado is rapidly weakening as it enters an environment unfavorable for violent tornadoes. Impact. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This tornado will remain over mainly rural areas of eastern Delaware and Randolph counties. To repeat, a tornado is on the ground, but dissipating. Despite this, you are advised to take cover now. Move to an interim room on the lowest floor of a building. Avoid windows. If in a mobile home, a vehicle, or outdoors, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Extremely large and extremely violent tornado shifts north. This is an extreme tornado emergency for northern Monroe and now central Morgan County. This is a mass casualty situation. A tornado warning remains in effect until 1:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for northern Monroe and central Morgan counties. At 12:49 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed extremely large, extremely violent and deadly tornado was located 5 miles north of Bloomington, moving north-northeast at 50 mph. This is an extreme tornado emergency for northern Monroe and now central Morgan County. This is an extremely dangerous and historic situation. Seek an underground shelter immediately. Hazards include a deadly and historic tornado. Multiple sources have confirmed this tornado. This tornado is on a direct collision course with another tornado near Morrisville. If these tornadoes fuse, a once-in-a-lifetime tornado will develop. Residents in the future path of the tornadoes must evacuate now. It is not safe to stay. You must leave the area. Impacts: you are in a life or death situation. Death is guaranteed if you are not underground or out of the path. This tornado has the capability to destroy entire towns and cities, and if it fuses with the other tornado will gain more power, possibly becoming unsurvivable. Locations impacted include Monrovia, Morgantown, and Morrisville. This is an extremely dangerous and catastrophic situation. Seek an underground shelter or evacuate the area now. If the tornado is too close, do not evacuate. Instead, go to the lowest interior room and protect yourself by any means. This storm is very low precip, so the tornado may be mistaken for hail or heavy rain. Do not delay, get underground now. The National Weather Service in northern Indiana has issued a tornado warning for southeastern Wabash County, Indiana, northern Grant County, and central Indiana until 1:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 12:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm with a history of producing a violent tornado was located over LaFontaine, or near Marlin, moving east at 25 mph. Hazards: tornado and bowling ball-sized hail. Sources: radar indicated rotation. Hail reported by spotters in public. Numerous houses have been reported crushed by bowling balls, falling from the sky in the form of ice as reported by public. The following impacts are expected: flying debris and hail will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include LaFontaine and Marion. While this storm is on a weakening trend, it is still extremely dangerous and producing extremely large hail. Take cover now. Move to a basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Devastating, unprecedented, once-in-a-lifetime tornado in Morgan County. Unprecedented catastrophic tornado emergency for Greenwood, South Indianapolis, Shelbyville, and Morrisville. This is an extreme mass casualty situation of catastrophic proportions. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for Shelby County in central Indiana, southwestern Hancock County in central Indiana, northeastern Morgan County in central Indiana, Johnson County in central Indiana, southern Marion County in central Indiana star until 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 1:02 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a massive, unbelievably violent and once-in-a-lifetime tornado was located over Morrisville, moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. A second rapidly intensifying tornado was located in the same storm near the Morgan-Hendricks County line, moving east, turning northeast at 55 miles per hour. This second tornado is on a collision course with the southern Indianapolis metro. This is an unprecedented catastrophic tornado emergency for Greenwood, South Indianapolis, Shelbyville, and areas in between. This is a life or death and once-in-a-lifetime situation. Evacuate the area now. Hazards include an unsurvivable tornado along with another deadly tornado. Countless sources have confirmed this unprecedented tornado. At 12:59 p.m., The entire city of Morgantown has been completely swept away. Nothing is left, not even slabs. While most early reports tend to be false, the tornado cored the town, so this report is likely true. Dozens of injuries and fatalities have been reported despite the early warnings. At 12:59 p.m., the tornado has fused with the other tornado and has since grown to a gargantuan size. At 1 p.m., radar has confirmed the wind speed and size of this gargantuan tornado. This tornado is approximately 4.4 miles wide and has winds exceeding 450 miles per hour. You need to evacuate now if you are in the path. No shelter is safe from this tornado. At 12:58 p.m., another tornado touchdown was reported near the Morgan-Hendricks County line and has since grown to almost a half-mile wide. These twin tornadoes are unprecedented, and anyone east of these tornadoes is required to evacuate now. Impacts: this is an extreme life or death situation. You will not stand a chance of survival if caught in the path. The only option to preserve your life is by quick, orderly evacuation. Evacuate as quickly as possible as the window is closing. Anything in the path of these tornadoes will be completely swept away without a trace. Any shelter, regardless if above or underground, will be either swept away or decimated. Do not delay, evacuate now. Entire towns and cities will be reduced to nothing, and you need to evacuate to preserve your survival. Locations impacted include, for the southern tornado, Greenwood, Franklin, Shelbyville, Trafalgar and Fairland. For the northern tornado, Indianapolis International Airport, Speedway, Indianapolis, Monument Circle, Cumberland, Marine Park, Greenfield and New Palestine. To repeat, 2 unprecedented tornadoes are on the ground. While the southern tornado is far stronger, the northern tornado is still capable of destruction. To protect your life, for the southern tornado, evacuate the areas in the path from Greenwood to Rushville. This line is under an immediate evacuation and you must evacuate now. Northern tornado, seek an underground shelter now. Above ground shelters will likely fail or be destroyed upon impact. Your most likely chance of survival is in a secure underground shelter. Take cover now. These tornadoes are visible from miles away due to the sheer amount of power flashes and debris in the air. Do not delay, evacuate or take cover now. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis is taking cover due to the northern tornado in a cluster of storms producing devastating tornadoes passing dangerously close to our office. We will resume warning responsibilities once the tornado passes. We are handing things off to the National Weather Service in northern Indiana. The National Weather Service in northern Indiana, at the request of the National Weather Service in Indianapolis, has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Clinton County and central Indiana, northern Boone County and central Indiana, northwestern Hamilton County and central Indiana until 1:45 p.m. EDT. At 1:10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a developing severe thunderstorm was located 6 miles north of Lebanon, or 9 miles south of Frankfort, moving east-northeast at 35 miles per hour. This storm is rapidly developing and becoming supercellular. This is a destructive storm for northern Boone and northwestern Hamilton counties. Expected hazards include 80 miles per hour winds and 3-inch hail. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be heavily damaged. Expect considerable damage to trees and vehicles. Significant power outages are likely. Locations impacted include Lebanon, Frankfort, Sheridan, Westfield, Arcadia, and Atlanta. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, move quickly to a basement or the lowest floor in a sturdy structure. This is an extremely situation. This storm is producing widespread significant damage. Seek shelter now, inside a sturdy structure, and stay away from windows. Devastating once-in-a-lifetime tornado moving into Johnson County with another life-threatening tornado over South Indianapolis. Unprecedented cataclysmic tornado emergency remains in effect for Greenwood, Southeast Indianapolis, Shelbyville, New Palestine, and areas along this line. This is a once-in-a-lifetime mass casualty situation. The 8 tornado warning remains in effect until 2 p.m. for Johnson, Shelby, southern Hancock and southeastern Marion counties. At 1:13 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 2 massive tornadoes, the south larger than the north, were being tracked by spotters and law enforcement. The first was located over the Morgan-Johnson County line, the second over Indianapolis, moving east at 60 mph. This is a once-in-a-lifetime situation and residents need to get out of the path of these tornadoes now. Hazards: 2 unsurvivable tornadoes. Source: numerous sources. Reports from law enforcement indicate that the entire cities of Morrisville and Morgantown have been beyond swept away. Nothing is left, not even debris. Extensive ground scouring has also been reported, with most underground shelters being completely obliterated due to the sheer power of the southern tornado. The northern tornado has a history of significant damage, destroying and sweeping away buildings south of Indianapolis. This is an extreme situation and action needs to be taken instantly. Impacts: this is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. You will not stand a chance of surviving this storm if you are in the path. The only chance of survival is by evacuating the path, as anything and everything in the path will be completely swept away or obliterated. Unbelievably significant ground scouring is certain and the area may be uninhabitable. Locations impacted include Indianapolis, Greenwood, Shelbyville, Franklin, Fairland, Trafalgar, Monument Circle, Greenfield and New Palestine. To repeat, a once-in-a-lifetime situations involving twin monster tornadoes is occurring. To preserve your life, evacuate the path of these tornadoes now. If you do not evacuate, you will face certain death. No structure is safe from this tornado. Do not delay, evacuate now. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has returned. We are resuming warning responsibilities as the gargantuan tornadoes are going south of our office. We are not in the path, so we are resuming warning issuances. Thanks to the National Weather Service in northern Indiana for filling in for us. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for northeastern Boone County, in central Indiana, northwestern Hamilton County, in central Indiana, western Tipton County, and central Indiana Star until 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 1:20 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Lebanon, moving east at 30 mph. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Expected hazards include a damaging tornado and grapefruit-sized hail. This is a radar-indicated threat rotation. This storm is showing supercellular characteristics, and given the rapid intensification of the storm and the environment ahead of it, a violent tornado is possible. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. Locations impacted include Sheridan, Westfield, Arcadia, Atlanta, Tipton and Windfall. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and potentially deadly tornado is developing and may touch down at any time. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to an interim room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If outdoors, in a mobile home, or a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Tornado emergency for Sheridan, Westfield, Arcadia and Atlanta. A tornado warning remains in effect until 2 p.m. for northern Hamilton and southern Tipton counties. At 1:28 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located near the Boone-Hamilton County line, or 8 miles southwest of Sheridan, moving northeast at 35 mph. Tornado emergency for Sheridan, Westfield, Arcadia and Atlanta. This is a particularly dangerous and life-threatening situation. Expected hazards include an extremely dangerous and deadly tornado. Storm spotters and emergency management have confirmed a rapidly intensifying tornado just west of the Boone-Hamilton County line, making a beeline for Sheridan. Residents in Sheridan and Westfield need to take immediate tornado precautions to protect your life. Radar has indicated a possible debris ball. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. You could be killed if not underground or in a tornado shelter. Complete destruction of entire neighborhoods is likely. Many, if not all, well-built homes and businesses will be completely swept from their foundations. Debris will block most roadways. Mass devastation is almost certain, making areas affected completely unrecognizable to survivors. Locations seen plotted include Sheridan, Westfield, Arcadia, Atlanta, Tipton and Windfall. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and life-threatening tornado is on the ground heading for an area that has already been impacted by a previous tornado. To protect your life, take immediate cover. Any residents who are still in the city of Tipton, prepare for another extremely dangerous tornado, and if you can hear the broadcasts, listen for a heavily worded tornado emergency within the next 25 minutes. Take immediate cover in an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. This tornado is rapidly gaining strength and is becoming increasingly violent. You need to take immediate cover to ensure survival. Massive, unprecedented tornadoes over New Palestine and Shelbyville. Catastrophic tornado emergency for southern Hancock and central Shelby counties. This remains a mass casualty situation. A tornado warning remains in effect until 2 p.m. for southern Hancock and central Shelby counties. At 1:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, 2 massive, violent and life-threatening tornadoes were located over Shelbyville and New Palestine, moving east at 55 mph. These tornadoes are slightly weakening but still are unprecedented and record-setting. This is a continued catastrophic tornado emergency for Shelbyville and New Palestine. Get underground or evacuate now. Hazards include 2 once-in-a-lifetime tornadoes and computer-sized hail. Sources: countless, including spotters, broadcast media, public, emergency management and radar. At 1:34 p.m., the entire city of Greenwood has been completely swept away, with the ground reportedly scoured all the way to the core. Literally nothing, not even soil, is left. Greenwood is confirmed to be uninhabitable. The city of Franklin also suffered a direct hit, turned into a projectile, and is being carried with the tornado. Radar shows the tornadoes peaked at 4.6 miles wide with winds of an unprecedented, once thought unreachable 480 miles per hour. Since then, the tornadoes have weakened some, but are still 3.5 miles wide with winds potentially exceeding 340 mph. Due to the sheer power still with these tornadoes, an immediate evacuation remains in effect and you need to get out of the path of these tornadoes now. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life or death situation. You will not stand a chance of survival if hit by this storm. Residents must evacuate now. Emergency services in the warned area must prepare for an unprecedented search, rescue and recovery effort. Numerous search, rescue and recovery efforts are ongoing in Greenwood, South Indianapolis and Greenfield. Locations impacted include Shelbyville, Fairland and New Palestine. To repeat, 2 massive, unprecedented tornadoes, although slightly weakened, are still on the ground and causing mass destruction. To preserve your life, evacuate now. No shelter is safe from this tornado, as it is too powerful. The northern tornado has grown to exactly the same size of the southern tornado, and you must evacuate from the path of these twin gargantuan tornadoes. These tornadoes will be impossible to see because of the sheer amount of debris within these tornadoes. Do not wait to see the power flashes, hear it, or see debris. Evacuate now. And now a special weather statement. For the following counties, in Indiana, Decatur and Rush. Tornadic situations expected within the next hour. In Rush County, 2 extremely violent tornadoes will move through the area. It is recommended that persons in Rushville evacuate. Listen for another unprecedentedly worded tornado emergency by the top of the hour. For Decatur County, multiple storms are firing south of Columbus, with one cell becoming dominant, and is becoming a candidate for another possibly life-threatening tornado. This storm is making a beeline for Columbus, and eventually Greensburg. If this storm continues, it will likely be in Decatur County by 3 p.m. Residents should closely monitor NOAA weather radio for further information and likely warnings. Rapidly intensifying tornado racing towards Arcadia, narrowly missing Atlanta. Tornado expected to turn north and make a direct impact on Tipton. Tornado emergency for northern Hamilton and Tipton counties. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for northwestern Madison County and central Indiana, northern Hamilton County and central Indiana, Tipton County and central Indiana Star until 2:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 1:44 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a large, violent, deadly tornado was located near Arcadia, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. This tornado has a history of significant damage in Sheridan. Tornado emergency for Arcadia and Tipton. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Seek an underground shelter now. Hazards include an extremely dangerous and deadly tornado. Emergency management has confirmed this tornado. Power flashes have been reported by trained spotters as the tornado moved just northwest of Atlanta. Emergency management has observed this tornado and has confirmed this tornado to be half a mile wide. Radar indicates winds around 150 miles per hour from this tornado. Impacts. This is a life-threatening situation. You may be killed if not underground or in a tornado shelter. Mobile homes and businesses will be completely swept away. Considerable damage to buildings is likely and complete destruction is possible. Trees will be uprooted or snapped. Major power outages in path of tornado highly likely. Locations impacted include Arcadia, Atlanta, Tipton and Windfall. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, seek an underground shelter now. Mobile homes will be completely decimated and outbuildings will offer no protection from this extremely dangerous tornado. Seek an underground shelter now. Extremely large, extremely violent tornado with an extensive history of unseen before damage moving into Rush County. This is an extreme tornado emergency for Rushville. A mass casualty situation has occurred, is occurring and is expected to continue. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for Rush County in central Indiana, northern Decatur County in central Indiana, southern Henry County in central Indiana Star until 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 1:58 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, an extremely large, extremely violent and deadly tornado was located 5 miles east of Shelbyville, moving east at 50 miles per hour. This is an extreme tornado emergency for Rushville. This is an extremely dangerous and life or death situation. Hazards include an extremely violent tornado. Numerous sources have confirmed this tornado. Radar shows an unprecedented tornado, although significantly weakened, is still on the ground and is extremely dangerous. Despite the fact that this tornado is weakening, it is not expected to lift before impacting Rushville. Once it enters Ripley County, it will be in an environment less favorable and will lift. Despite this, you still need to seek an underground shelter to protect your life. This tornado is no longer expected to sweep away underground shelters, however, above ground shelters will become death traps. Get underground now. Radar shows that this tornado has shrunk to 1.8 miles wide and is continuing to shrink, with winds decreasing to 220 miles per hour. The following impacts are expected. This is a life-threatening situation. You will likely be killed if you are not underground. Mobile homes will be completely swept away. Homes and businesses will likely be completely flattened and possibly swept away. Considerable damage to underground shelters is possible. Locations impacted include Rushville. To repeat, a large, extremely violent and deadly tornado, although weakening, is still on the ground. Take immediate cover. Above ground shelters will provide no protection from this tornado. Take cover now to ensure survival if you have not evacuated the area. Here is a public information statement. 2 supercells still in progress through 3 p.m. with additional development. 2 violent tornadoes are on the ground with 1 supercell in Rush and Henry counties, with another one in Hamilton County. Both these storms are expected to clear the forecast area by 3 p.m. Other supercells are south of Columbus and will likely clear the area by 4 p.m. A line of thunderstorms is still expected area-wide between 7 p.m. and 2 a.m., but severity is in question. While the line will be severe, there is some uncertainty of how strong the line will be. The highest threat for tornadoes will be along the I-70 corridor. A few strong tornadoes are still likely with the line. Most of central Indiana can still expect hurricane-force winds, but the hail threat is still decreasing. The current tornado watch for the central part of Indiana will expire at 5 p.m., but will likely be reissued by 6 p.m. Residents should remain weather aware for the second round and listen for later statements, watches, and warnings. Residents who have already been affected by the first round of supercellular thunderstorms, or who do not have a shelter, evacuate if at all possible, or move to a designated shelter. Please stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio for additional information. Tornado emergency continues for Tipton. A tornado warning remains in effect until 2:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for northwestern Madison and east central Tipton counties. At 2:14 p.m., a large and destructive tornado was confirmed 2 miles southwest of Tipton, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Tornado emergency for Tipton and extended to include Alexandria. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazards include a potentially violent tornado and 9-inch hail. Source: Weather Spotter confirmed tornado over Tomato Factory. At 2:10 p.m., a gas station was struck by lightning and set on fire. The tornado passed over moments later. The tornado is now on fire, creating a firenado. Residents in Tipton need to evacuate to the nearest underground shelter, as anything above ground will be destroyed by hail, the tornado, or the fire inside the tornado. Impacts: you will be killed if above ground. All structures will be incinerated if not destroyed upon impact. Underground shelters may also be cooked, captivating their residents. This tornado will directly impact the city of Tipton. Do not delay. Evacuate now. While the tornado is not extremely violent, it is on fire. Do not wait to see, hear, or smell the tornado. Leave the area. A tornado warning remains in effect for eastern Rush County until 3 p.m. At 2:29 p.m., a tornado-producing storm was located 7 miles east of Rushville, or 10 miles west of Connorsville, moving east at 40 miles per hour. This storm has a history of multiple catastrophic tornadoes, but has shrunk significantly and is entering an environment unfavorable for violent tornadoes. While this storm is still producing a possible tornado, the intensity of the tornadoes has decreased significantly. The following impacts are expected: flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. This tornado will remain over mainly rural areas of eastern Rush County. To repeat, a tornado may be on the ground, still shrouded in debris as it weakens. It is still a good idea to take cover now. Move to a basement or enter a room on the lowest floor of a building. Avoid windows. If outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. This storm has a long-lived history of extreme tornadic behavior, including multiple mass casualty-causing tornadoes. Take cover now. The tornado warning for northwestern Madison and east central Tipton counties has expired. The storm that prompted the warning has caught fire and dissipated as a result. However, embers may continue falling from the sky for the next few minutes. Please remain in your shelters. A tornado watch remains in effect until 5 p.m. for north central Indiana. Tornado emergency for Columbus. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for southwestern Decatur County and central Indiana, Bartholomew County and central Indiana, extreme northern Jackson County and south central Indiana Star until 3:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 2:57 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a large and extremely dangerous tornado was rapidly developing, located near the Bartholomew-Jackson County line, moving northeast at 50 mph. Tornado emergency for Columbus. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazards include an extremely dangerous tornado and 2-inch hail. Spotters have confirmed a large funnel cloud. Signatures on radar are also showing that the storm is on the verge of producing a tornado, and given atmospheric conditions, a violent tornado is expected. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. Locations impacted include Columbus, Edinburgh, Hope, and Flat Rock. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous, and potentially deadly tornado is expected and may touch down at any time. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to an interim room on the lowest floor of a building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Tornado on ground over Columbus. This is a tornado emergency for Columbus. This is an extremely dangerous situation. A tornado warning remains in effect until 3:30 p.m. for southwestern Decatur and northern Bartholomew counties. At 3:13 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located over Columbus, moving northeast at 45 mph. Tornado emergency for Columbus. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazards include an extremely dangerous tornado. Multiple sources have confirmed this tornado. Spotters confirmed a large, barrel-shaped tornado directly over downtown Columbus, doing damage. Power flashes have also been reported. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. You may be killed if not underground or in a tornado shelter. Complete destruction of entire neighborhoods is likely. Many, if not all, well-built homes and businesses will be completely swept from their foundations. Debris will block most roadways. Mass devastation is highly likely, making areas affected completely unrecognizable to survivors. This tornado will directly impact the city of Columbus and points northeast. Do not delay. Get underground now. This is an extremely dangerous tornado with complete devastation likely. You may be killed if not underground or in a tornado shelter. Move immediately to an underground shelter, or if time allows, consider moving to an underground shelter elsewhere. Take cover now and protect yourself from flying debris. Violent tornado moving into Decatur County after impacting the city of Columbus. Tornado emergency for Decatur County, including Greensburg and Milhouse. This is still an extremely dangerous situation. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for Decatur County and central Indiana until 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 3:23 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located near Milhouse, moving northeast at 45 mph. Tornado emergency for Greensburg. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazards include a deadly tornado and 2-inch hail. A tornado has been reported by spotters. The tornado briefly became a wedge tornado over Columbus, but became a bowl shape as it entered Decatur County as reported by spotters. Spotters have noted the tornado is on a weakening trend, with debris falling from the sky. Impacts are expected. You may be killed if not in a secure shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is likely. Locations impacted include Greensburg, Milhouse, and Westport. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous, and life-threatening tornado is on the ground. Take cover now. The tornado warning for Decatur County has expired. The storm which prompted the warning has moved out of the area and is weakening. Therefore, the warning will be allowed to expire. A tornado watch remains in effect until 5 p.m. for central Indiana. Tornado watch number 307 will expire at 5 p.m. The threat for supercells has diminished and the watch will expire.
And if you're still with us, we are still dealing with an extremely dangerous round of severe weather incoming from the west. It's expected to develop in the next hour and a half or so. We have already seen extreme damage in a large part of our viewing area, so If you are still receiving us, please remain with us. We are going to continue to cover it with you. For those of you that have been watching the coverage since 11 a.m. this morning, we have dealt with extremely violent tornadoes. Stay tuned for further EAS activations as well. Thank you for listening. We will be back after these messages. Please stay tuned as this evening continues. We continue to track this extremely dangerous line. Please stay with us. Further instructions will be ahead.
Here is a vital public information statement. NOAA weather radio station KJY93 is off the air due to extreme tornado damage. The NOAA weather radio station KJY93 located in Muncie has been knocked off the air due to significant tornado damage. This limits warning coverage for Delaware and Randolph counties. Persons in this area should tune to either WXM 98 in Marion or KEX 74 in Indianapolis. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause our listeners.
And we have breaking news coming in out of the National Weather Service forecast office in Louisville as well. We have seen multiple violent tornadoes down there. There has been one that has struck the city of Henryville, Indiana. There's also been one that struck the city of Scottsburg, which is south of Columbus. Those are from the cells that impacted about an hour ago. And then we also had tornadoes that struck the actual Louisville metro. Louisville itself just got impacted by a tornado. I know that's south of us, but we are certainly continuing to monitor. Our hearts are with them. Again, we still expect more severe weather later on, so please stay tuned.
The current time is 5:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now here is the updated hazardous weather outlook in central Indiana. For tonight, an isolated thunderstorm is possible early this evening over southwestern Indiana. A break in storms is expected through 7:00 p.m. for areas affected by severe weather earlier. A line of dangerous severe thunderstorms is expected late this evening into the overnight hours. Widespread damaging winds in excess of 60, 90 miles per hour can be expected area-wide, with more significant winds to 100 miles per hour or more along and south of the I-70 cord, or several tornadoes are likely, including both the possibility of a few strong to violent tornadoes and tornadoes, affecting areas already hit by violent tornadoes earlier today. The best chance for tornadoes is south of the Lafayette to Cacamo line. The best time frame for this line in central Indiana is 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. Residents still able to hear NOAA weather radio should stay tuned for additional development and the likely event of new watches and warnings. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday. Thunderstorms are possible Sunday through Tuesday. An isolated storm may be severe on Sunday, but confidence is low. Spotter information statement. Additional spotter activation will be needed this evening and tonight.
A new update from the National Weather Service here on the Weather Storm Our Studios live stream here. We have already gotten ratings for those tornadoes. A few of the tornadoes we have. The tornado that struck Noblesville, Whitestown, Anderson, and Muncie has been given a preliminary rating of EF4, as that damage was considerable. The tornado that struck Indianapolis, the northern Indianapolis metro, has been rated EF1. The tornadoes that struck Greenwood and the southern Indianapolis metro have both been rated as high-end EF5s. Further ratings and dangerous tornado surveys will be conducted ahead, but first we have to get through this second round of severe weather. Please bear with us. I know it's been a long night, but we still are going to have a long way to go. And we have a new tornado watch incoming.
The National Weather Service has issued Tornado Watch number 313, effective this Thursday evening and Friday morning from 6:50 p.m. through 3 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the following counties: Bartholomew, Boone, Brown, Clay, Davies, Decatur, Delaware, Fountain, Greene, Hamilton, Hancock, Hendricks, Henry, Jackson, Jenkinses, Johnson, Knox, Lawrence, Madison, Carrion, Martin, Monroe, Montgomery, Owen, Park, Putnam, Randolph, Rush, Shelby, Sullivan, Tippecanoe, Vermilion, Vigo, and Warren. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Primary threats include numerous tornadoes with some intense tornadoes possible, a few violent tornadoes possible, widespread significant damaging winds to 120 miles per hour expected. Isolated large hail events to 1.5 inches in diameter expected. Summary: a line of thunderstorms is developing over eastern and central Illinois and will push through the watch area. While destructive hurricane-force winds are the main threat, there remains some violent tornado potential with the squall. Remember, a tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes and severe thunderstorms, both in and close to the watch area. While severe weather may not be imminent, persons should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, commercial radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information.
For those of you that have just heard it over the weather radio, a tornado watch, a particularly dangerous situation one, our second one of the day, has been issued for a large part of our viewing area, but not the entirety of our viewing area. It includes pretty much the entirety of central Indiana, but Howard and Tipton counties, which are our northern counties, are not in the watch. They will be issued at a severe thunderstorm watch within the coming minutes. Now, for those of you that may have just tuned in with us on the actual live stream side, we have a tornadic situation about to come in involving the squall line. But for those of you on the EAS scenario side, this is the first time I'm actually addressing you, and I hope you have enjoyed the scenario so far. But this second round is going to be possibly just as violent as the first round, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The National Weather Service in Lincoln has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Champaign County in central Illinois, Piatt County in central Illinois, Vermilion County in east central Illinois, Moultrie County in central Illinois, Coles County in central Illinois, Edgar County in central Illinois until 6:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time, severe thunderstorms were rapidly developing, located along a line extending from near Champaign to near Tuscola, moving east at 50 miles per hour. These are destructive storms for Champaign and surrounding locations. Hazards include 80 miles per hour wind gusts. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be heavily damaged. Expect considerable damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles. Extensive tree damage and power outages are likely. Locations impacted include Champaign, Albana, Tuscola, Monticello, Annapolis, and areas to the east. This is an extremely dangerous situation with tornado-like wind speeds expected. Mobile homes and high-profile vehicles are especially susceptible to winds of this magnitude and may be overturned. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. This is an extremely dangerous situation. These storms may cause serious injury and significant property damage. The National Weather Service has issued Severe Thunderstorm Watch number 115, effective this Thursday evening and Friday morning from 7:10 p.m. to 1 a.m. for the following counties: Indiana, Howard, and Tipton. Primary threats include scattered damaging winds and isolated significant gusts to 80 miles per hour expected. Scattered large hail events to 1.75 inches in diameter likely. Summary: a broken line of thunderstorms will move across northern Indiana into southwest Michigan. The southern flank of the line, which is expected to go south of Kacamo, will interact with a boundary of somewhat stable air, but damaging winds are still a considerable threat. Further north, damaging wind potential increases along with a hail threat. Remember, a severe thunderstorm watch means that conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including large hail and damaging winds, both in and close to the watch area. While severe weather may not be imminent, persons should remain alert for rapidly changing weather conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, commercial radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information. The Storm Prediction Center has maintained a high risk for severe weather for anywhere south of the city of Tipton due to an unprecedented derecho expected across the area. However, a weaker line is expected further north, so the Storm Prediction Center has downgraded northern Indiana from moderate to slight. A boundary has been set up north of Tipton and has created a pocket of extremely stable atmosphere, so the line will quickly break apart over this area and will not maintain strength north of Tipton. Good luck tonight if you are south of the Hamilton-Tipton County line, as another round of potentially unprecedented storms is on the way. Thank you for listening to this public information statement.
And then again, for those of you that are just joining us or did not really understand the statement the National Weather Service released just moments ago, the northern half of the line is pretty much dissipating or breaking off from the southern part of the line, which is going to impact the central and southern thirds of our viewing area, along with the threat for damaging winds and violent tornadoes. The northern line may actually go north of our viewing area into the South Bend metro. It's going to be less severe with maybe some damaging winds and hail, but really it's weakening considerably, hence why the Storm Prediction Center has downgraded the threat all the way down to a slight risk with a 15% wind, 5% hail, and less than 2% tornado. We here in central Indiana remain under a high risk, so this is a gotta pay attention to weather event, and please do not let your guard down and stay abreast as further warnings will come through the wire.
The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Knox County in southwestern Indiana, Vigo County in west central Indiana, Fountain County in west central Indiana, western Tippecanoe County in west central Indiana, Warren County in west central Indiana, Park County in west central Indiana, northwestern Clay County in west central Indiana, western Montgomery County in central Indiana, western Putnam County in west central Indiana. Star until 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 7:19 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Champaign, Illinois to near Mount Carmel, Illinois to Casey to Vedersburg to Dalton, moving east at 50 miles per hour. These are destructive storms for the warned area. Hazards include 80, 90 miles per hour wind gusts and half-dollar-sized hail. Severe weather has been confirmed by automated weather equipment. An automated weather station near Champaign reported 86 miles per hour wind gust at 7:18 p.m. and Vedersburg Emergency Management reported a gust of 75 miles per hour at 7:17 p.m. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Homes and businesses will have substantial roof and window damage. Expect extreme tree damage and power outages. Locations impacted include Terre Haute, Vedersburg, Dayton, Lafayette, London, Clinton, Waytown, Richmond, Vincennes, Davies, and Newport. Radar has indicated multiple rotations within the line. Tornadoes may develop at any time. For your safety, move indoors into an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy structure. Torrential rainfall is occurring with this line of storms and may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways.
And again, to reiterate, the storms are not into our viewing area just yet. They are still in Fountain County, all the way down into Newport. That's a very, very long line of storms. They are pushing to the east, again, into a very unstable air mass, which is going to allow them to intensify significantly. Folks, I've seen a lot of comments in the Fake Live Streams live chat thread that have questioned why trick-or-treating was canceled because they were expecting to be a break in between lines. Folks, this is exactly why, because these storms have been very unpredictable. There have been extreme damage, and it just wouldn't be right with how dangerous these storms are. We don't want kids trick-or-treating in this dangerous situation. Because, folks, just consider this line. It's got 80 to 90 mile an hour winds. I've seen reports of 85 mile an hour wind gusts already. And we have a new tornado warning coming down the wire, I believe. I don't know if this is from Lincoln or Indianapolis, but it will be relayed here over the air in a moment. But certainly is something you've got to pay attention to. I know that you guys want to go trick-or-treating tonight, and I understand that. I'm with you. But seriously, you have got to pay attention to this, and please stay tuned.
The National Weather Service in Lincoln has issued a tornado warning for northern Moultrie County in central Illinois, central Edgar County in east central Illinois. Star until 7 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6:29 p.m. Central Daylight Time, multiple tornadoes were confirmed by spotters, most of which in close proximity in Edgar County, moving east at 50 miles per hour. Hazards: multiple tornadoes confirmed. Source: spotters confirmed several tornadoes within 5 miles of each other. Radar shows at least 4 debris signatures in close proximity. These tornadoes have the potential to become violent and long track, and it is recommended that you seek shelter. Impact: you are in a particularly dangerous situation. Flying debris will be deadly to people and animals caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or obliterated. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is certain. These tornadoes will remain over mainly rural areas of central Edgar and northern Moultrie counties. To repeat, numerous tornadoes are on the ground. Take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for west central Tippecanoe County in west central Indiana, Warren County in central Indiana, northern Fountain County in west central Indiana until late 15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 7:31 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, severe thunderstorms capable of producing significant tornadoes in addition to widespread significant wind damage were beginning to track into west central Indiana. Located along a line from Vettersburg to Terre Haute to Champaign, Illinois, moving east at 50 mph. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Expected hazards include a potentially strong tornado sequence and 90 miles per hour wind gusts. This is a radar-indicated threat. Rotation is beginning to tighten west of Vettersburg and multiple strong tornadoes may develop at any time. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include Dayton, Vettersburg, Lafayette, West Lafayette, Purdue University, and that one campsite that the creator of this warnings went to. To repeat, numerous tornadoes are developing. Take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Tornado emergency for rural Edgar County. A tornado warning remains in effect until 7 p.m. for central Edgar County. At 6:37 p.m. Central Daylight Time, 2 large and extremely dangerous tornadoes were located in a well-matured squall line, moving east at 45 miles per hour. This is a tornado emergency for Edgar County. Take immediate cover. Expected hazards include multiple violent tornadoes. Numerous sources have confirmed these tornadoes. Radar shows 2 notable debris signatures in central Edgar County. On the current path, these 2 tornadoes may collide near the Illinois-Indiana border. If this occurs, another extremely violent and unprecedented tornado will likely develop. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis is strongly recommended to issue an extreme tornado emergency for Terre Haute. Residents in Terre Haute, despite not being in our county warning area, must prepare for this tornado now, as this is an advance warning. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life or death situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be decimated. Extreme damage to homes, vehicles, and businesses is likely with complete destruction expected. These tornadoes will remain over mainly rural areas of Edgar County. To repeat, multiple large and violent tornadoes are on the ground and expected to fuse. Take cover immediately. Move to a basement or interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Avoid windows at all costs. If you are in a mobile home, evacuate it now. Mobile homes may be completely swept away and you will be killed if you stay in them. Seek shelter in a reinforced building and protect yourself from flying projectiles. Tornado emergency for Lafayette. A tornado warning remains in effect until 8 o'clock p.m. for western and central Tippecanoe, Warren and northern Fountain counties. At 7:43 p.m., a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located near the Tippecanoe-Warren County line, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Tornado emergency for Lafayette. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Seek an underground shelter. Now expected hazards include a deadly tornado and hurricane force winds of 90 miles per hour. Radar has confirmed this tornado. A well-defined CC drop in addition to a notable debris signature have been tracked by radar. Storm spotters have caught sight of the tornado, but confirmed it is rain-wrapped. These storms, Unlike the tornadoes earlier, our higher precipitation in the tornado is likely obscured. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. Locations impacted include Lafayette, West Lafayette, Purdue University, and Dayton. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and potentially deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. This tornado will likely be impossible to see due to it being wrapped in heavy rain and the lack of sunlight. Do not wait to see the power flashes from this tornado or hear it. Get underground now. Severe thunderstorm emergency for Western Indiana. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Tippecanoe County in west central Indiana, Monroe County in south central Indiana, Morgan County in central Indiana, Owen County in west central Indiana, Hendricks County in central Indiana, Vigo County in west central Indiana, Clinton County in central Indiana, Boone County in central Indiana, Park County in west central Indiana, Montgomery County in central Indiana, Putnam County in central Indiana. Star until 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 7:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, thunderstorms with an extensive history of straight-line wind damage were beginning to track into the warned area, located along the line extending from near Lafayette to Crawfordsville to Terre Haute to Vincennes, moving east at 45 miles per hour. This is a severe thunderstorm emergency for western central Indiana. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Seek shelter now. Hazards include extreme hurricane force winds of 100 to 115 miles per hour. Severe weather has been confirmed by both radar and storm spotters. A storm spotter east of New Richmond measured a wind gust of 106 miles per hour in association with this line and not associated with the ongoing tornadoes. Radar shows a widespread column of wind over 125 miles per hour winds above the ground, which roughly translate to 110 miles per hour at the surface. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. This, normally, would be a situation for an extreme wind warning, but due to the compromised environment for the northern part of the line, an extreme wind warning will not be issued. Residents should treat these storms as if there is an intense tornado on the ground and seek a secure shelter indoors. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be rolled and possibly destroyed. Homes and businesses will suffer extreme roof and window damage. Complete destruction is possible. Power outages will be widespread and last for an extensive amount of time. Locations impacted include, but are not limited to Crawfordsville, Lebanon, Whitestone, Lafayette, Frankfort, West Lafayette, Umeå, Stylisville, Monrovia, Bloomington, Paragon, Danville, Pittsboro, Frankfort, Colfax, Michigantown, and Zionsville. This is an extremely dangerous situation. These storms are producing widespread wind damage and numerous tornadoes. Seek shelter now. Treat these storms as if a tornado was approaching and move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Remain alert for possible tornadoes. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into the basement or a small central room inside a sturdy structure. Intense thunderstorm lines can produce pre-tornadoes in addition to widespread straight-line wind damage. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Torrential rainfall is occurring with these storms and may lead to flash flooding. Do not drive your vehicle through flooded roadways. Large tornado shifting course, being steered by another violent tornado to its north, bearing down on New Richmond. Tornado emergency from Montgomery County, including Crawfordsville, Colfax, and New Richmond. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Seek shelter now. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for southwestern Boone County in central Indiana, Montgomery County in central Indiana, northern Putnam County in central Indiana, southwestern Tippecanoe County in west central Indiana Star, until 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 7:51 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and violent tornado was located near New Richmond, moving east at 45 miles per hour. A second large and damaging tornado was located over Colfax, moving south at 45 miles per hour. Due to the unusual movement of the northern tornado, these tornadoes are on a collision course. Tornado emergency for Crawfordsville, Colfax, and New Richmond. This is a life or death situation. Take cover immediately. Expected hazards include 2 extremely dangerous and deadly tornadoes. Multiple sources have confirmed these tornadoes. Colfax Fire Department confirmed a very erratically moving tornado, around half a mile wide, with a history of destroying parts of Lafayette. This tornado has been constantly shifting directions for an unknown reason, and is now on a direct track to collide with the second tornado. At 7:49 p.m., a large tornado along with a notable debris signature were confirmed by Doppler radar, moving over New Richmond. Residents in these areas should seek a secure shelter now. Residents in Montgomery County, regardless of where you are, should immediately move to an underground shelter. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life or death situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be decimated. Extreme damage to homes and vehicles is certain and complete destruction is likely. The entirety of Montgomery County will be impacted by these 2 tornadoes. Take cover immediately. These tornadoes, once they combine, will have the potential to scour buildings off the face of the earth. Do not wait. Take cover now. Extremely violent and unprecedented tornado bearing down on Terre Haute. Extreme tornado emergency for Terre Haute. This is a mass casualty and life or death situation. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for Vigo County in west central Indiana, western Putnam County in west central Indiana, southeastern Park County in west central Indiana Star, until 8:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 7:55 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, an extremely large, extremely violent and unprecedented tornado, which is made up of numerous tornadoes fusing into one tornado, was located near the Illinois-Indiana border, moving east at 55 miles per hour. This is an extreme tornado emergency for Terre Haute. This is a life or death situation. Get underground now. Hazards include a deadly and catastrophic tornado. Source: numerous, including broadcast media, fire department, emergency management, law enforcement, storm spotters, and the public. Spotters have confirmed the eastern tornado sucking in the other tornadoes and becoming multiple vortex. This tornado has intensified at a rate unseen before, eclipsing the record set earlier today by the Kokomo and Bloomington tornadoes. This tornado has grown in less than a minute to over 3.5 miles wide, containing unprecedented winds of over 375 miles per hour. Residents need to seek a shelter for underground now. Impact: you are in a once-in-a-lifetime situation. You will not stand a chance of survival if not in a secure underground shelter. Entire towns and cities will be reduced to either debris or slabs, possibly being completely swept away for miles. The city of Terre Haute is in extreme to catastrophic danger. This tornado will impact the city of Terre Haute in points east. Do not delay. Evacuate or get far underground now. Keep in mind that evacuating may be impossible due to extreme winds not associated with this tornado. Take cover now. Heavy rainfall will obscure this tornado. Do not wait to hear this tornado. Get far underground now. Civil emergency message. The following message is transmitted at the request of the National Weather Service. This message affects the following counties: Boone, Hamilton, Hendricks, Madison, Marion, Montgomery, Putnam, and Vigo. A voluntary evacuation order has been issued for residents within any of these counties, as there is a catastrophic threat of multiple catastrophic tornadoes impacting anywhere within these counties. The greatest, the most violent tornado at the present time is over Terre Haute, moving east at 45 miles per hour. This tornado is on a direct collision course with the Indianapolis metropolitan area, and based on convective trends, a once-in-a-lifetime mass casualty situation is again expected. If you wish to preserve your life, evacuation is strongly advised. This is not a mandatory order, but is recommended. If evacuating, attempt to gather food, water, clothing, medical supplies, a first aid kit, and a battery-powered radio for your jersey. If tornado damage hinders your attempt to evacuate, seek shelter as far underground as possible. These tornadoes have the potential to scour foundations off the face of the earth. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio for more updates on this catastrophic situation. Tornado emergency for Hendricks County. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for northwestern Morgan County in central Indiana, Hendricks County in central Indiana, east central Putnam County in central Indiana until 9:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 8:35 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, confirmed large, destructive and mass casualty causing tornado was located over /Greencastle, moving east at 45 miles per hour. This tornado has a history of catastrophic devastation, if it can even be called that, in the city of Terre Haute. Tornado emergency for Hendricks County. This is a life or death situation. Evacuate or get far underground now. Hazards include an extremely dangerous and deadly tornado. Numerous sources have confirmed this tornado. The entire city of Terre Haute has been wiped off the face of the earth, with not a single structure left standing. Hundreds of injuries and fatalities have already been reported. This tornado has also scoured ground to the point that a volcanic-like crater has been created in the former city of Terre Haute, emitting magma into the air. Residents in Hendricks County must evacuate. Impacts: this is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. You will not survive this tornado if you are in the path. Anything and everything will be swept away. Debris will be thrown, like missiles, possibly for hundreds of miles. Mass devastation, if it can even be called that, is certain, making the area completely unrecognizable for those who survived this unprecedented and once-in-a-lifetime storm. The intercity of Hendricks County will be impacted by this tornado. Do not wait. Evacuate now. Those who do not evacuate will face certain death, as underground shelters have been obliterated in Terre Haute. Do not stay. Evacuate now. Mandatory evacuation for Indianapolis Metro and points east. The following message is transmitted at the request of the Indiana Emergency Management Agency in conjunction with the National Weather Service. Due to an unprecedented, once-in-a-lifetime tornado moving into Hendricks County, residents anywhere east of Indianapolis and west of the Rush-Shelby County line are now under mandatory evacuation order. This tornado will destroy homes and underground shelters. Residents are advised to evacuate the area immediately. When evacuating, do not try to gather supplies, as you will have no time to do so. Leave the area as quickly as possible. Shelters have been set up in western Ohio and southeastern Michigan. The shelters can be found in Columbus, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, and Grand Rapids, Michigan. The squeal line is expected to weaken before hitting these areas. Do not wait. Evacuate now. Severe thunderstorm emergency due to catastrophic damaging winds and damaging tornadoes now barreling to central Indiana. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Hendricks County in central Indiana, Marion County in central Indiana, Hancock County in central Indiana, Johnson County in central Indiana, Morgan County in central Indiana, Monroe County in south central Indiana, Brown County in south central Indiana, Jackson County in south central Indiana, Jennings County in southeastern Indiana, Decatur County in central Indiana, Rush County in central Indiana, Delaware County in central Indiana, Henry County in east central Indiana, Madison County in central Indiana, Randolph County in central Indiana, Shelby County in central Indiana, southern Hamilton County in central Indiana, until 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 8:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a line of unprecedented thunderstorms were beginning to track into the warned area, located from near Crawfordsville to Newport to Vincennes, moving east at 60 miles per hour. The damaging winds of these storms will become more significant on the southern half of the line. Severe thunderstorm emergency for central Indiana. This is an extremely dangerous situation. Hazards include, for north of Indianapolis, 90 to 100 miles per hour wind gusts. For Indianapolis and Point South, 115 to 130 miles per hour wind gusts. Multiple sources have confirmed these extreme winds. A Mesonite station in Lebanon measured a 94 miles per hour winds as the front edge for these. Multiple reports of measured winds of 90 to 95 miles per hour were reported from Lafayette to Whitestown. A station in Cloverdale measured a peak wind of 134 miles per hour, causing substantial damage to homes. While the area has been impacted by a tornado since this has been reported, it is clear that this is not tornado damage. Remember, if you are in Hendricks, Marion, Hancock, or Shelby counties, you are under a mandatory evacuation order. The entirety of all towns and cities in the warned area will experience major hurricane force winds. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Treat this line of storms as if there is an intense tornado on the ground and move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. This line of storms has a history of and is currently producing strong to cataclysmic tornadoes. Seek shelter now. Extreme tornado emergency declared for Hendricks County. A tornado warning remains in effect until 9:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Hendricks County. At 8:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and catastrophic tornado was over Stylisville, moving east at 45 miles per hour. This is a once-in-a-lifetime, twice in this outbreak situation. You need to leave the area now unless you want to face certain death. Hazards include an unsurvivable tornado with an extensive history of sweeping entire towns and cities off the face of the earth and causing hundreds of thousands of casualties. Source: numerous. The tornado is so violent that the debris ball is completely undetectable. The winds inside this tornado are now confirmed to be exceeding 470 miles per hour, which is quite unprecedented. Underground shelters have been unbelievably demolished from this tornado, causing more fatalities. If you are in Clayton, you need to leave the area now. Impacts: this is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. You will not survive this tornado if you are not underground. Everything and anything will be swept away for miles. Locations impacted include Amo, Stylisville, Clayton, Paragon, Danville, and Brownsburg. To repeat, a once-in-a-lifetime capable of causing indescribable damages on the ground and vaporizing everything in its path. In addition, spotters have seen an unnatural light inside this tornado. It is possible that this tornado was orchestrated by artificial means. Regardless, you need to leave the area now. Evacuate now to ensure survival. Unprecedented tornado, although slightly weakening, tracking towards the Indianapolis metro. Catastrophic tornado emergency for the entirety of the Indianapolis metro, including areas erected by the first tornado. Despite most people evacuating, this is a mass casualty situation for those who stay. The National Weather Service in northern Indiana, at the request of the National Weather Service in Indianapolis, has issued a tornado warning for Shelby County in central Indiana, eastern Hendricks County in central Indiana, Marion County in central Indiana, Hancock County in central Indiana Star until 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 9:04 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a massive, unprecedented, unseen before tornado was located over Brownsburg, moving east at 55 miles per hour. This tornado is making a beeline for the Indianapolis area. If you are in Indianapolis, you need to leave the area. This is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. Evacuate now. Hazards include an unprecedented tornado in 180 miles per hour, no tornadic winds. Source: countless. Radar confirms that the tornado has slightly weakened, but still has winds exceeding 480 miles per hour. This tornado has also been confirmed to be unnatural in nature. An unknown entity has been sighted inside this tornado, being sighted around the center. The entity is increasing the power of what should have been a QLCS-like tornado to the worsted tornado ever recorded. Residents need to be in a secure shelter out of the path of the tornado. Impact: this is a once-in-a-lifetime situation. You will not survive this tornado if in the area. All buildings, regardless of strength, will be swept away for miles. Most underground shelters will also be completely obliterated, leaving anyone inside said shelters trapped. Locations impacted include Indianapolis, Shelbyville, New Palestine, Greenfield, Fairland, and areas in between. To repeat, an unprecedented and once-in-a-lifetime tornado is on the ground. Take cover now. Evacuate the area if you are still in the area. This is a once-in-a-lifetime situation and you need to seek immediate cover. This tornado is impossible to see due to the sun setting and extremely heavy rain. Do not evacuate now. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for southwestern Madison County and central Indiana, southeastern Boone County and central Indiana, central Hamilton County and central Indiana Star until 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 9:19 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, multiple confirmed tornadoes were located near Zionsville, or 18 miles north of Indianapolis, moving east at 65 miles per hour. Expected hazards include multiple damaging tornadoes. Tornadic debris has been confirmed by radar. The following impacts are expected. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, vehicles, and windows will occur. Tree damage is likely. Locations impacted include Carmel, Westfield, Fishers, Noblesville, Cicero, Lample, Morse Reservoir, Penalton, Edgewood, and Anderson. To repeat, multiple tornadoes are on the ground. Take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Heavy rainfall may hide these tornadoes. Do not wait to see or hear these tornadoes. Take cover now. Significant tornado over New Palestine, significantly weakening. Tornado emergency extended to include Rush County and extended until 10:30 p.m. At 9:49 p.m., a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located near the Hancock-Shelby County line, moving east at 45 miles per hour. This tornado has an unbelievable history of unprecedented devastation, but it is weakening considerably and may not remain on the ground. Expected hazards include a damaging tornado. Multiple sources have confirmed this tornado. The tornado continues to weaken and may lift by the time this warning expires. With his tornado weakening, the tornado emergency and evacuation will likely be lifted. Regardless, you should still be in a secure shelter. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. Locations impacted include Shelbyville and Rush County. To repeat, a large, extremely dangerous and deadly tornado is on the ground. To protect your life, take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. Tornado emergency for New Albany. The National Weather Service in Louisville has issued a tornado warning for Harrison County in south central Indiana, Floyd County in south central Indiana, western Clark County in south central Indiana Star until 10:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 10:01 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and destructive tornado formed out of nowhere in a line of non-severe thunderstorms, moving east at 50 miles per hour. This is an unexpected situation, and residents that may still be trick or treating need to seek shelter now. This tornado is showing potential of producing extreme damage, like the storms up north in the Indianapolis County warning area. You needed to treat like this is a catastrophic situation. Expected hazards include a destructive tornado. A tornado has been reported by trained weather spotters. Spotters have reported a tornado developing, seemingly out of nowhere, over New Albany. Complete destruction has been reported in New Albany. Locations impacted include New Albany, Charlestown, Sellersburg, New Pekin, Sellersburg, and Palmyra. The National Weather Service in Louisville apologizes for the quick writhing and confusion in this warning, as we are also trying to help our partners up north. Take cover now. Tornado emergency for Columbus, North Vernon, Vernon and Greensburg. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for Decatur County in central Indiana, Jennings County in central Indiana Star until 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 10:21 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and destructive tornado was located over Columbus, once again, and is moving east at 99 miles per hour. It is unknown why this tornado is moving so fast, but residents have little to no lead time, regardless of where you are in the polygon. You must take cover now. The following impacts are expected. You are in a life or death situation. Flying debris will be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be decimated. Expect extensive damage to vehicles and complete destruction. Locations impacted include Greensburg, North Vernon, Vernon, Columbus, Edinburgh, H. Hope, Flat Rock, and areas in between. To repeat, an extremely large, extremely violent, and deadly tornado is on the ground. Take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis is breathing a sigh of relief. The line of catastrophic thunderstorms has left the area. The line is also significantly weakening and the storms have left the area. However, isolated severe weather is still possible.
And again, we're going to continue to stay on the air here as these storms continue to push out of our viewing area. The cataclysmic damage these storms have been left behind. We have seen reports of towns and cities reduced to absolutely nothing where they stood before this line, and even areas impacted by tornadoes earlier sustained even worse damage. This has just been a cataclysmic situation here. It's almost 1:45 a.m. in the morning, and I'm just trying to deal with this. And it looks like we have a new tower going up just west of Muncie. Well, that's great. And we have a new warning coming as well. So, looks like we're not done yet, folks.
As much as we hate to do this, the National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Delaware County in east central Indiana, Randolph County in east central Indiana Star until 1:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Star at 12:38 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. A severe thunderstorm was located near the Delaware-Madison Country Line, moving east at 9 miles per hour. The movement of this speed is very erratic and can vary from cycle to cycle. This storm has intensified rapidly and is developing a hail core. Expected hazards include golf ball-sized hail. Source: trained weather spotters. Spotter reported hail increasing from pea to golf ball size in under 2 seconds. Impacts: people and animals outdoors will be injured. Expect hail damage to roofs, siding, windows and vehicles. Locations impacted include Muncie, Albany, Eton, Winchester and Parker City. A tornado watch was extended until 3 a.m. for east central Indiana. We never wanted to do this again, but here goes nothing. The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a tornado warning for eastern Delaware County and central Indiana, Randolph County and central Indiana Star until 2 a.m. EDT. At 1:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Selma, moving east at 20 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazards include an extremely dangerous tornado. Radar has confirmed this tornado. Spotters have also confirmed a tornado on the ground ripping up homes in Selma. This is being noted as a tornado emergency for the city of Winchester. You need to take cover now. Impacts: you are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile houses will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses and vehicles is likely and complete destruction is likely. Locations impacted include Selma and Winchester. You must take cover now. Move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Avoid windows. If you are outdoors, in a mobile home, or in a vehicle, move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris. The tornado warning for eastern Delaware and Randolph counties will expire at 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The storm which has prompted the warning has dissipated rapidly, much to our relief. The tornado watch will be allowed to expire. The severe weather has finally come to an end, and a public information statement discussing outages of transmitters will be relayed shortly. Here is a public information statement. NOAA Weather Radio Broadcast Outage. As of Friday, November 1st at 3:01 a.m., the following radio stations are off the air. WWG 73, WWG 72, WXM 78, KZZ 27, WXK 72, KJY 93 and WXK 74 are off the air. KC 74 will be off the air for an extended period to conserve power. The broadcast will only be restored if problems arise with the weather or public information statements are issued.
The following is a storm survey report. The storm survey was taken care of as of Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, and is being relayed over NOAA Weather Radio at this time. This event summary discusses all events that occurred in our coverage area on October 31st into the early morning hours of November 4th. Numerous supercells would pop up in central and western Indiana on the late morning of October 31st, prompting a large-scale, particularly dangerous situation tornado watch to be issued for central Indiana and is extending down into southern Indiana into northern Kentucky. It also included northern and eastern Indiana. This watch would be a particularly dangerous situation watch. At around 11 a.m., the first storm development would occur just west of the Hendricks, Putnam, Boone, Montgomery County line in Indiana, prompting the first severe thunderstorm and tornado warning of the day. At 11:08 a.m., this storm would produce its first tornado, located just south of Eminence. The track would take it directly to Whitestown, where the following damage was gathered. Well-built homes and businesses would be partially swept away from their foundations, and considerable house damage and, in some areas, complete destruction would be reported. The tornado then sped up extremely and tracked very quickly into the city of Noblesville. In Noblesville, damage was very similar to in Whitestown, although slightly worse on the northern side of town. The tornado then took a strange turn, moving straight east along with its parent supercell, and impacting Anderson head-on at peak intensity. The tornado would peak at around 1.5 miles wide with peak wind speeds of 198 miles per hour. It would track over Anderson, doing similar damage. The tornado began to weaken, but not fast enough as it impacted the city of Muncie head-on, as still producing low-end EF4 damage. The tornado would dissipate near the Delaware-Randolph County line. The final rating of this tornado has been given a preliminary rating of a high-end EF4 with estimated wind speeds of 198 miles per hour. At around the same time, a devastating supercell would very quickly develop in Tipton County, producing a tornado extremely quickly over the city of Tipton, which would sustain moderate damage from this tornado. North of Tipton, the tornado would rapidly intensify before impacting the city of Sharpsville head-on. What would happen next would baffle meteorologists. Sharpsville would be completely and utterly wiped off the face of the earth. Nothing remained, not even slabs. The tornado, at this point, already, in only 7 minutes, had estimated wind speeds of 298 miles per hour as measured by Doppler radar. The tornado continued northeast, racing toward the town of Kokomo, doing similar damage to Rushville as it did to the city of Tipton. The tornado would impact Kokomo head-on, causing EF5 damage. Interestingly enough, northeast of Kokomo, something was spotted in the tornado that questioned public as to whether this was an actual tornado or an entity of unknown. The National Weather Service can confirm that this was a tornado. However, they have no origin on this entity. The entity was confirmed inside the tornado, only enhancing its power. While the tornado would have been violent on its own, this entity increased it further. The tornado very quickly weakened after it moved through Kokomo, moving into Grant County and ultimately lifting. The National Weather Service has classified the Kokomo tornado as a mid-range EF5 tornado with wind speeds of 299 miles per hour measured, estimated to 304. A weak tornado would touch down in northern Marion County with another storm that was being steered by a storm to its south, which will be discussed in a moment. The tornado did moderate structural damage to the northern Indianapolis metro, touching down over Monument Circle and moving to the east. In Indianapolis, with this first tornado, well-built homes would suffer very minor structural damage and windows would be blown out. A few roofs would be removed from structures. The tornado was then influenced by a storm to its south and dissipated. The National Weather Service has classified this tornado as an EF1 tornado with estimated wind speeds of 94 miles per hour. Then, things near Bloomington would take a turn for the worse. A tornado would rapidly develop in Owen County, baffling meteorologists, as a supercell blossomed into being and produced a tornado within 2 minutes of developing. A special weather statement, followed quickly by a tornado emergency, would be issued. The tornado in Owen County rapidly developed and intensified at a rate unseen until this outbreak. It moved into Monroe County as a violent EF4 tornado, producing catastrophic damage to the city of Bloomington. It would then intensify further and move in a heading that would collide it directly with another tornado that touched down in northern Morgan County, causing similar damage. The tornado would directly collide with this tornado and fuse with it, while at the same time it was absorbing the cell that produced the tornado over the northern Indianapolis metro to its north. This would cause the northern tornado to cycle and touch down southwest of the city of Indianapolis, intensifying very quickly and impacting the southern half of the metro. In the southern Indianapolis metro, the following damage was gathered. Well-built homes and businesses were completely annihilated, with a few being swept away from their foundations. Mass devastation of skyscrapers occurred as they swayed until the point of total collapse. Down in Greenwood, where this tornado would reach peak intensity, the following was gathered. Greenwood was, disturbingly enough, wiped off the face of the earth. Nothing was left. Houses, slabs, people. Nothing. Indianapolis would suffer mostly a hit to the southern half of the metro. Most of the northern half of the metro went spared without a hit, at least with this storm. The storm pushed to the east, causing similar damage in Hancock and Shelby counties before moving into Henry and Rush counties. Here, the northern tornado dissipated, and the Rush County tornado continued, causing minor EF2 damage to Rushville, and then moving east and lifting near the Rush-Wayne County line. At the same time, another tornado would develop in northern Boone County. The tornado would reach the ground, rapidly developing into a significant barrel-shaped tornado as it crossed into Hamilton County, moving into Sheridan. In Sheridan, the following damage was gathered. Well-built homes sustained significant structural damage, with a few to the point of total collapse. The tornado would scour ground very slightly. The tornado moved northeast into Tipton County, directly striking a gas station and catching on fire. This is where, dare we say it, things take a bit of a merciful turn with this tornado. The fire actually caused the tornado to dissipate as it moved into the city of Tipton. However, this did not spare Tipton at all. The tornado did hit Tipton before it dissipated, causing EF4 damage, while the tornado itself would be rated an EF3 with peak winds of 150 miles per hour. The fire inside the tornado made it look like the damage was worse than it was. The tornado would lift just north of the city of Tipton, and embers would continue raging for almost an hour after the fact. Around this time, another significant tornado would develop in southern Bartholomew County, moving northeast and impacting Columbus head-on as a strong EF4 tornado. The tornado would cause substantial damage to the city, including but not limited to well-built homes flattened but not swept away from their foundations. Skyscrapers would also suffer to the point of collapse, with a few being swept off their foundations. The tornado would move into Decatur County when it caused similar damage to Greensburg and Millhupson, including wiping away barns completely off the face of the earth. The tornado would be rated a high-end EF4 with wind speeds of 195 miles per hour. The Bloomington, Greenwood, Rushville tornado would be rated a high-end EF5 with an unprecedented wind speed of 479 miles per hour. The southern Indianapolis, New Palestine, Greenfield, and Newcastle tornado will be rated a high-end EF5 with wind speeds of 385 miles per hour. As these tornadoes continued to clear the viewing area, as the tornado in Columbus was rated an EF4 with estimated winds of 175 miles per hour, the tornadoes would clear the area, and somehow the atmosphere would rapidly recover due to the low precipitation storms. This allowed for the line of thunderstorms to very quickly develop and prompt a large PDS tornado watch for central and southern Indiana. However, before we move on, we must acknowledge our partners down south, as they were also dealing with a rough time. You may not have seen it, but numerous large wedge tornadoes would touch down at southern Indiana, northern, western, and central Kentucky. There was a tornado that developed west of Evansville, rapidly intensifying into a wedge tornado around a mile wide before striking the city head-on. The Evansville tornado would completely sweep away homes and businesses, with some, disturbingly enough, looking like they were never built to begin with. The damage in some spots looked very similar to what happened in Kokomo. The National Weather Service in Paducah has given this tornado a low-end EF5 rating with estimated winds of 210 miles per hour. Another violent wedge tornado would touch down south of the city of Louisville, rapidly intensifying into a significant stovepipe tornado, which would touch down and very quickly move into the city of Louisville. Louisville would be spared the worst of the damage, as only minor structural damage was reported. The tornado would weaken quickly, its winds not reflecting its shape. While it looked like a wedge, the column's swirling wind was only 125 miles per hour. Hence, the tornado would only be rated an EF2. Then, around 6 p.m., another PDS tornado watch would be issued. This one for central and southern Indiana. However, it was mainly focused on the Indianapolis area for another threat for multiple devastating tornadoes. A line of thunderstorms very quickly developed in central and eastern Illinois. We thank the National Weather Service Forecast Office in Lincoln for their assistance with the tornado emergencies as well as storm surveys. The main tornado in question touched down in Moultrie County, moving very quickly and combining with a cluster of tornadoes in Edgar County. It was here that we began to see signs of trouble as these tornadoes continued to slowly move closer together, eventually colliding. When these tornadoes collided, they went under an unprecedented, only seen once before in this outbreak, stage of rapid intensification. The intensification itself was not what we exactly expected from a line of storms. The line of storms itself was also rapidly intensifying. Before we get to that, we will cover what happened with these tornadoes. The tornado would move across into the Terre Haute area with wind speeds exceeding 385 miles per hour only a mere minutes after colliding with each other. Some structures west of Terre Haute, disturbingly enough, would be thrown into the atmosphere and are now orbiting the sun. However, what would happen to Terre Haute would be worse. The city would be completely and utterly wiped off the face of the earth. Nothing, not even debris, not even soil, would be left. Where Terre Haute used to stand, there is now what can best be described as a volcanic crater. While it is not a volcano, it has the potential to develop into one. Hint, hint, new scenario. The storm continued to move to the east, producing another strong tornado in Lafayette, but this tornado was not by a long shot. It moved into Putnam County, continuing to gain strength and rip apart homes, businesses, and destroy everything people thought they had. At this point, it would move into Hendricks County, prompting an extensively worded tornado emergency for the county, and moving over areas that were affected by the first storm of the day, Amo, Stylesville. They would be completely swept away. The city of Clayton would suffer unprecedented, unseen before damage. There would be nothing remaining of the town, not even slabs. Nothing, not even the county seat in Hendricks County was left standing. We hate to say it, but Hendricks County has been wiped off the face of the earth. This prompted an immediate evacuation order for areas east of the tornado. The tornado moved into Marion County, and while it appeared to be weakening, it was actually strengthening. The tornado at this point had wind speeds of 485 miles per hour and a width of 4.5 miles. This would be where the worst of the tornado damage would occur, in the Indianapolis metro. The Indianapolis metro suffered a direct hit from this tornado after being spared once in this outbreak. The southern Indianapolis metro would see their hopes of rebuilding shattered as anything and everything that wasn't swept away from the first tornado, which wasn't much, was swept away with this one. Most, if not the entire city of Indianapolis, was completely swept away. A few of the buildings in Indianapolis, much like some of the structures west of Terre Haute, are now in the atmosphere. Rebuilding Indianapolis may be an impossibility, and with a heavy heart, we will relay a message. The Indianapolis International Airport was also completely swept away, further delaying any flights. Flights have since been diverted to the Detroit International Airport in Detroit. The tornado continued to move to the east, ripping apart the entirety of Hancock County before starting its merciful weakening trend in Shelby County. At this point, the tornado would give birth to another entity. However, this time we were able to identify the entity. The entity, his name is Mother Nature. Mother Nature is a 295-foot-tall humanoid with fists the size of buildings, and it is confirmed that he is responsible for this outbreak. Mother Nature's gender is unidentified, but it is confirmed that they are a dangerous, unknown entity, and while they have since receded from the solar system, they are still at large. An extremely dangerous tornado outbreak. However, it wasn't over yet. Mother Nature's wrath left an additional cape abundance in this area not used up by this tornado, and other storms in the line would take advantage of this. 2 tornadoes in particular that are worth noting would touch down around 30 minutes apart. The first one would touch down west of Petersburg, Indiana, moving east and destroying the city, causing substantial structure damage, but not completely destroying homes. At this point, the tornado took a northern turn, moving it towards the city of Lafayette. Lafayette suffered a catastrophic direct hit from this tornado, with considerable damage to well-built homes, including the potential of sweeping a few from their foundations. The tornado would also cause substantial damage to the campus of Purdue University, as it suffered a direct hit. There have been reports of injuries and fatalities in this area, but fortunately, residents were in their safe spot and able to ride the storm out. As the tornado continued to move to the east, something, it is unknown what, possibly the in presence of Mother Nature, forced the tornado to turn directly south. At this point, it would fuse with the other tornado. The Lafayette tornado has been given a rating of a high-end EF3 and has been since upgraded to a low-end EF4 with estimated wind speeds of 170 miles per hour. The New Richmond tornado would form in southeastern Fountain County, pushing quickly into Montgomery County, racing east as a significant EF2 tornado before rapidly intensifying west of New Richmond. New Richmond would suffer a direct hit and have numerous homes flattened and swept away. New Richmond, while not completely wiped off the map, is no little than a few slabs. The tornado would race to the east, colliding with the other tornado. On its own, this tornado would be rated an EF5 anyway, with estimated wind speeds of 205 miles per hour. The tornado briefly intensified further, completely wiping away the entire city of Crawfordsville, like it never existed. Crawfordsville was completely dug up and scoured. The tornado here will be rated a high-end EF5, with wind speeds of 240 to 250 miles per hour. The tornado would push east into Boone County, but rapidly weaken and dissipate before reaching Lebanon. However, these were not the only tornadoes. Down south, a significant, violent tornado developed over the New Albany area, seemingly out of nowhere, as this line had not produced anywhere out of central Indiana. New Albany would suffer a direct hit from this tornado, including a few well-built homes and businesses completely swept away. It would push east into Clark County, where it would ultimately dissipate just west of Sellersburg. The New Albany tornado will be given a high-end EF4 rating with wind speeds of 185 miles per hour. The line of storms continued to push east into western Ohio, continuing to produce multiple weak tornadoes anywhere from ES0 to EF2. We have not mentioned numerous events in this line. First, let's take a look at the hail damage from these supercells. In Kokomo, complete destruction of windows was reported when bowling ball-sized hail ahead of the tornado would occur. In Hamilton County, hail the size of computers would completely destroy roofs in northern Sheridan. In Bloomington, before the tornado actually hit, computer-sized hail caused extensive damage. In northwestern Madison County, before the tornado impacted, there were reports of possible train-sized hail. While this is unverified, there are claims to back this up, as it was reported by a train spotter who sent us a picture. During the squall line, the following information was gathered. Widespread wind speeds were near 80 to 100 miles per hour north of Indianapolis, still causing substantial damage to areas not affected by weaker tornadoes. Hundreds of tornadoes would occur with the line, a majority of them being EF0 to EF1. For example, the tornado warning we issued for Boone, Hamilton, and Madison that you saw earlier in the scenario. This was because of several confirmed tornadoes in one area. Hundreds of these situations occurred, but there were too many tornado warnings issued to show them all in this scenario. This scenario covers the major parts of this outbreak. Now, on to the wind. The damaging winds of this line would be unlike anything ever seen. The damaging winds of this line would cause the following. Many areas not impacted by tornadoes would see extreme roof and window damage, with some complete failures of structures. There were a few instances of homes collapsing due to the extreme winds. Most homes would sway violently on their foundations, fortunately not collapsing, but leaving their residents traumatized. A few instances of hail would occur with this line, but it would be nothing compared to anything that would occur in the future. In addition, even after the line passed, the threat was not over yet, as a single supercell would develop behind the line in a somewhat unstable environment just west of Muncie. The storm rapidly intensified, causing a spotter to report golf ball-sized hail, which increased in under 2 seconds, setting a record. It didn't take long for this supercell to rotate, but it did for it to actually produce a tornado. When it did, the tornado rapidly intensified, taking an eerily similar track to the tornado in March 14th of 2024. The tornado touched down near Selma, causing significant damage to the city before moving into Winchester, impacting the town head-on. Winchester suffered another direct hit, with significant damage reported to structures. However, none were swept from their foundations. Just like the earlier tornado, the National Weather Service has classified the Winchester tornado as an EF3, with estimated wind speeds of 145 to 150 miles per hour. With this, finally, the severe weather would move out, and the early hours Friday morning would be spent trying to grasp the slip of the outbreak. It would be something that nobody may ever see again. This is a once-in-a-lifetime outbreak, something that only happens in EAS scenarios, and it will likely never happen again. Thank you for listening to the Storm Survey Report. Hey guys, it's Weather Storm Lord, and if you guys are still watching with me, I am so thankful for you guys for sticking with me on this project. It has been an unbelievable thing to create, and I would also like to thank Epic Roller, even though he may not have really contributed, or at least he feels like he didn't. He really did. He gave me the idea years ago, and I've always wanted to do something like this, so I'm going to give him an extreme shout out. Thank you, dude. I owe you a lot, and really and truly, this was the hardest thing I have ever had to create. All of this, as you may have observed, is fake, especially because I used the Tom voice, hence why this is an EAS scenario. None of this actually happened, as you know. But seriously, guys, I enjoyed creating this for you, and I really hope that I can create future scenarios like this for you. I'm sorry about the lack of same headers, but you know what? When you're blind and you have limitations, you got to work with what you have. And I think that I really and truly accomplished something big here by making what can best be described as a weather EAS scenario for you. And again, I owe you guys a lot for sticking with me to the end of this scenario if you did. And thank you so much. I appreciate the support so much from you guys. And yeah, that was by far the funnest thing I've ever had to create. I apologize for the lack of work in the end of the scenario. I completely forgot Bartholomew County in one of the warnings, Speaking of which, I just realized I forgot to include a storm survey report, so I'll include a footage of that real quick. The tornado that I intended to hit Columbus that second time did occur, but it was left out of the storm survey because I just spaced on it. But the tornado itself would be rated an EF3 with estimated wind speeds of 150. So yeah, that's how that was. And but yeah, that was certainly a really fun thing to create. And like I said, I hope I can create things possibly even related to this, if not resulting from this, or maybe even something like this again in a different location. I stuck to my home location in this one because I wanted to experiment and I wanted to use locations I actually knew. So I would like to thank everybody for being so understanding, and I appreciate all of the love I've gotten from this scenario, even if it's like nothing in the live chat or in the comment section. Just watching the scenario is perfect, and I owe you guys a lot of thanks for it. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking with me, and thank you for joining in on this Halloween special. And we will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.